My group and I are here to talk to you about the tour that took place at Crownhill Packaging Solutions on Friday, February 24, 2017. Our project objective is to analyze Crownhill's managing system and how their supply chain management and how they could improve this. Maria Santos will be talking to you about inventory and warehouse strategies. Mary will be talking to you about customer service and transportation strategies. Krystine will be talking to you about supply management strategies and sustainability issues. And I, Christopher, will be talking to you about the company and about the logistic performance measurements they take. Crownhill is a private company that was created in the 80s and has been around for over 30 years now. Their main objective as a company is to approach their clients and find out all their packaging needs, and ultimately make them a one-stop shop for any packaging needs their customer desires. It doesn't have an exact target market, but it tends to aim for the small to medium range companies. The big companies just ask for too much and demand too much. Although they don't look for the big companies, they do have Canada Post inside their warehouse, but they also just give them a small designated area to the side. Next, I will be talking to you about the logistics performance measures they take. Although Crownhill doesn't historically have a system in place for their metrics, they did just bring one in last September of 2016, the WMS system, Warehouse Management System. This warehouse management system has helped them out in many different ways for their business. Along with this, they don't have one ideal supplier. They like to use many suppliers depending on customer demand. They do, though, have three major ones they tend to come back to all the time. As you can see in the slide there, Cascade, Kruger, and WestRock are their three big ones they tend to always use. On the slide you will see Cascade, WestRock, Kruger, and other suppliers will send their products and their merchandise to Crownhill, who then puts their spin on it and gives it out to the retailers and other customers. On the other side, you will see a document of their warehouse statistics. In their warehouse statistics sheet, they like to use their WMS system to see their inbound and their outbound product coming in. Along with that, they like to take note of their current storage going on inside their warehouse, and this will help them be able to manage better. Next, it will be Mary talking to you about customer service.
I'm going to talk about customer service strategy. So for customer sales response, they don't have generic response. They doesn't have general customer service policy because they develop flexible customer service policy that address based on their customers' needs. Due to the nature of business, investigating clients' exact requirements are needed before a quote is provided. So like what I said earlier, everything is based on their customer needs because most of them have different requirements. Next is their CRM system. They are using ERP6 Pro or Enterprise Resource Planning software to compile customer requests and concerns. It is basically the software application that organizes and collects data from their clients. It is currently being integrated with their WMS system to get help support their customer service team. RGA number returns, good service assurance are documented in the system. So this one, it helps to keep track on how many defective products they have. For example, if the customer complains about a damaged product, they will check it using the RGA if they have additional stock to replace the damage. Next is the customer complaints. It goes along with the RGA and NCR. NCR is means non-confirming report. It is documented for learning purposes. This is an internal issue, so this is from their internal mistakes, basically. That source based on their shipping, purchasing, etc. So before it shipped outside their warehouse, what caused the problem from the inside. Replacements are provided and issues are always investigated by the QA team. So right after they see an issue or problem, the QA team will eventually take over and solve the problem. For their strategies overall, it helps customer understand the needs and performance of their company. And it develops customer analysis by providing segmentation through their customer profiles to get this responses, CRM system, and customer complaints. It is all based from their behavior, geographics, and so on. Now I'm gonna pass it over to Maria, which will discuss the inventory strategies.
Hello, today I will talk about inventory strategy. Crownhill inventory strategy include safety stock level, avoid stock out, inventory classified, ABC, customer service, lead time, and customers. The inventory strategy is about to avoid a stock issue. Safety stock level is set based on popularity of products. They try to forecast 3 months worth of products and take note on how accurate the forecast stock is versus actual orders sold. They hold the forecast products for only 3 months and to keep the warehouse space available. They forecast their stock based on their customer purchases history. Their inventory operation and sales department have visibility on their stock level, and with the safety level set in place, it helped the team manage more than 9,000 SKU. And the target market are business that need packaging into Canada and USA. Thank you. And now the supply management strategy by Krystine.
Hi, so I'll be talking about how Crownhill manages their suppliers. For Crownhill, it is important to balance the cost and reliability when choosing their suppliers that will support their customers. How they would do that is they would submit a quote to 3 different suppliers in order to compare the cost, reliability, and depending on what their customers' requirements are. Cost is a big factor to Crownhill, but also to many companies. However, depending on the reliability, that will also come into play. Sometimes cost will not always be a factor because there are some customers that require strict delivery times. If they're not able to receive their products in a timely manner, Crownhill will be charged. Based on that, our quality assurance team is always involved in that process. And another example of a custom requirement a customer needs would be based on how sustainable their product is. So an example, Canada Post, they do have some strict rules on how sustainable their product is. So based on the 3 aspects, that is how Crownhill chooses their suppliers. So now Mary is going to talk about transportation and distribution strategies.
I'm going to talk about transportation and distribution strategy. So transportation and distribution strategy. The strategy relies heavily on customer delivery times and the frequency of the orders. They specify measures in place to ensure their customer's product arrives on time. SKUs are placed on most products to help identify location and stock levels on the floor for better inventory visibility. SKUs helps their team understand which items are time sensitive and which products are more frequently ordered. The details that Crownhill keeps an eye on to help them strategize are the quality items per shipment, type of transportation, and overall transportation cost. For the quantity of item per shipment that will be shipped will determine the type of vehicle it requires. For types of transportation, they outsource some shipments using delivery companies such as FedEx, Purolator, and UPS, depending on the destination's location to efficiently deliver the products within the budget. For the overall transportation cost, shipping the product to its designated location can cost them, especially when the product returns to the warehouse because of the damage or issues. Quality assurance process systematically checking if the product being developed. So the receiving team inspect the items that comes through. If the issue arises, they will flag it and give it to the QA team to resolve it. They have logistic planning that helps to cut down on the production costs, speed of delivery, and also improving for their CRM. This relates to forecasting. They have visibility to help them for their transportation and distribution metrics. Also have green supply chain strategy, because Canada law, all warehouse should have green supply chain strategy. All materials discarded are discarded accordingly. They have rules on the timing in place of each drivers that arrives at their facilities to help reduce the cost of idling. Next, I'm gonna pass it to Maria to discuss warehouse and distribution center operation.
Today, I will talk about warehouse distribution center operation. Warehouse distribution operation, as Crownhill do, and this is include for them clean and organized space. Establish a structure with properly documented with the following process: inventory management, purchase to receive, put away, receive goods, sales order and shipping, picking, goods delivery, dispatch note, and work order to receive. Also, they have an organized space with 5 logical warehouse. This is retail, flooring, corrugate, no corrugate, and a special project. They have 2 physical warehouse, one here in Canada and another one in Chicago. The warehouse and distribution center operation, the daily activity is one process that have different steps. Some of them are put the pieces in equal package, and also after package they need to put in the pallet, and after everything is in the pallet, the forklift driver take this and put this into the correct area or place about this product. But when these products are ready to send to the customer, they package everything, ensure that the products don't fall into the truck. The distribution center operation is closely related to customer service, inventory, suppliers, and transportation. Because of the nature of the business, they need to do that. How they do that? They work closely about communication, personal communication, but the most important is about visibility with the site pro system that they have. This is the old one, and now the WMS system. They use together to join information until one work alone. They call for green policies packaging, and the packaging need to have the sign, and also they recycling all material into their 2 compressing machine, like a material efficiency. And this material return to the suppliers, and these suppliers pay the credit back to him. We can see the following video that help you to understand how they do that.
When the machine gets to the point where it's full, you put ties around it, the machine opens, it dumps it out, you put them on skids, and you pile them up. Okay, now there's only foam over there right now, like you see, we just had a pickup.
And what do you do with this material after you recycling this?
So this material will go to our suppliers, in this case a vendor that takes it back, and we actually get credit for that return. And then they put it back in the stream to make new boxes, new corrugated items.
Warehouse distribution center operation, the suppliers need guarantee the sustainability requirement as a key of sustainability resource, natural resource. Thank you. And now, Krystine will talk about sustainability and issues.
I'll be speaking about the sustainability issues. There is an increase of pressures from our government and consumers to reduce the carbon footprint, as well as increase energy saving measures. And for companies to have a corporate social responsibility practice implemented. as Crownhill has. Some of the social responsibility practices credibility has become more important for consumers in recent years. Due to the amount of stats and information available from the government, we are able to show a rise on GHG emissions and the rise of carbon footprints from fossil fuel combustion, as an example. We have a chart here from Environmental and Climate Canada stats that shows the increase of the carbon CO2 emissions. It is divided by the different sectors, such as agriculture, buildings, electricity, transportation, oil and gas, and others. It is important for companies to be more aware of the implications and risks of having suppliers overseas, as well as the environmental impact that they may have. Some other risks that would be involved would be heavily relied on transportation, as an example, because the transportation companies are not managed by Crownhill. It is harder to ensure that the transportation companies are sustainability credible. Some risk of suppliers' credibility would be greenwashing, and what that is some companies would state that they are sustainable when they really are not. They will put the recycle, reduce, and reuse symbols on a product, and the materials may not have been officially tested and labeled as from the government, as an example. The chart shows here, United States has contributed to 16% of the overall CO2 emissions. China being 28%, others are 30%, India 6%, and Europe would be 10%. Now we're going to go through the evaluation and recommendation for Crownhill. Our evaluation of Crownhill's results actionability would be grouped as the right stuff. And what that means is that they have the right organizational structure, however, they don't have the metrics and data to back up some of the operations. They do have the experience and knowledge to make sure that their operations are running smoothly, however. They are currently in the transition process of different systems, and they are slowly moving forward with their WMS, as mentioned, and the ERP system to better collect the data and metrics needed to act on. That's on their way to becoming excellent at it.
So they're currently experiencing some transition pains with their new system. However, it will help properly analyze their metrics and provide actionable results. So ROI versus COI should be used to determine if the initial cost of a supplier really makes sense. Because the cost of an orient problem, whether it's late transportation, damaged product, that could end up costing you a lot more in the end. A procedure manual that measures order entry accuracy and invoice accuracy would be definitely a beneficial addition inside this company. Along with creating a manual for the procedures of a metric line fill rate, order fill rate, unit fill rate, and also metric procedure of forecast demand. This would allow the company and new employees to come in at any time and see how their procedure is laid out, and not just by experience. Anyone will be able to look at this manual and be able to do the exact job needed to get by that day in that process.
In order to make sure that their customer service and internal company culture is excellent, a guideline should be set in order for proper communication between employees, as well as communication from employees to their customers.
My group and I would like to just say thank you for listening to our presentation and our group report.
And some of the Crownhill staff that was interviewed to provide us with the information available would be Carolina, who is the Quality Inventory Coordinator, Jason, who is a Operations Manager, Silu Chan, the Logistics Manager, Robin Patel, Assistant Plant Manager, Ophelia, the Purchasing Manager, and Pam, who is from Inside Sales.